Hey, what's up, everyone? Thank you for tuning into the podcast, and thanks to our sponsor, SS96. Still rocking with us in 2022, and it's so amazing. We appreciate you. SS96 is putting out new merch and still has some of your favorites. Get your Executive Productions t-shirts, Swish Masters t-shirts, as well as Farm Raised Entertainment t-shirts. Don't forget to check out Straight Stoners music, as well as my own release under Executive Productions. It's available on all streaming platforms, and new music is in the works, so stay tuned. Go to ss96.net and use the promo code SWISHMASTERS to get discounted merch today. Thank you all again. We're grateful. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Swish Masters podcast. Happy New Year. I am your co-host, Zay, the executive producer.
Happy New Year 2022. Swish Masters. I'm your co-host, Q the Guru. What's up, Zay?
What's happening, man? Happy New Year, bro.
Happy New Year, man. A new year, a little bit closer to that sweet NBA Finals if we get one. COVID is out here, y'all. Please be safe. All right, but let's get into some NBA news, man. It's been a minute, but there's a lot of news that happened while we're out, while we took our break, and one of the major news stories that we covered before we left was the status of Zion Williamson. So if you've been following the podcast, you know that we have love for Zion. Former number one overall pick, slated to change this entire city of New Orleans, right? But the thing is, this man has not been playing. He has missed more games than he's played. And let me remind you, he is just what? He's young. He's young. That's all I know. He should not be missing this many games. So recent news is he is away from the team. He and the team have mutually agreed for him to train in the offsite away from the team. They didn't say what the location was, but thanks to the Woj bomb, and for y'all that love basketball, he's a dude that has all the inside information. He let us know that he's going to be training in Portland, Oregon. That's a far away place from New Orleans, y'all. So he's totally away from the team. So it has us thinking. It has me thinking. Is this another Greg Odom situation? As you all know, basketball fans, Greg Odom was another former number one overall pick, slated to change the franchise, but he got hurt. Injuries happen, and unfortunately, he's been labeled a bust, but we have our own opinion about the bust title. I don't think it's a bust if it's an injury, but So you got two examples of like injury that can be good or bad. The bad one is Greg Oden. The good one is Joel Embiid. In the early part of his career, he missed a lot, but now he's like one of the best players in the league.
Yeah.
So as the Pelicans, you got a decision. And this is our first question for today. If you're the Pelicans, what do? You keep Zion, give him that extension, or are you going to try to trade him? And what's your overall reaction to Zion, too, along with that question?
New Orleans, you fumbled it. You blew it. He not only is Zion not with the team, not playing, he's not even in the city. He's not even at the facility. He's not with his own teammates or the other coaching staff, medical staff, executives. He's literally on another coast. Zion is not going to be in a New Orleans Pelicans uniform next year.
So that means the GM, you're trading him or what?
At this point, his motives are clear that he doesn't want to be with the team, and already in a long rebuild stage ever since Anthony Davis was traded. I think that as an organization, as a GM, the best move for them and Zion is to just go ahead and trade him, because you're going to lose him regardless. I don't think that this is reconcilable at any level. I don't see somehow they change up things next year and make Zion want to re-sign or sign an extension because you got Brandon Ingram. But that's outside of Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart. I mean, you don't have a lot of talent. You don't have a lot of pool in the city right now in New Orleans, and I don't know what their rank is right now, but it's not good. They're going back to the lottery. That Zion is obviously rehabbing, and we hadn't had the chance to see him play a full season yet. But coming out as the number one pick and seeing him in Duke and seeing the time he did play, he's a superstar. And if he is able to rehab and come back 100%, he's gonna be a superstar in the league still. But I think the best move for New Orleans right now is to go ahead and look to piece him or get a good package deal for him, because there's no way in my opinion, there's no way that he's going to be in New Orleans next year. I just don't see it happening.
Man, it's tough. And based on what you said about New Orleans, yeah, it's like they going way back. You know, this is a guy that you slated to change the franchise, you know. And right now the Pelicans are currently 14-25. 13th place in the West. In the league-wise, the good thing is if they're tanking, they're doing pretty good. They're slated to have the 5th pick right now if they want to. But they have the odds, you know, it's different, you know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm sure this is not where they imagine they would be right now. So, for me, it's like you're not even getting that team chemistry. You know, you can't even, like, play Xbox or 2K with them. You're away from the team. It's like, it's tough. And, you know, you passed up on, you got the first overall pick, so you had to pick up the whole litter. I'm sure they wish they had John Morant because he's balling right now. So New Orleans, you got a problem, man. I don't know. Fans of New Orleans, let us know how you feel, because I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say. But this is the fear though, as the Pelicans. What if this is like all the plan. He leaves, goes to a place like New York, because we've been hearing things about New York for a minute.
Yeah.
Even before the draft. Yeah, even before the draft. Like how much he loved New York. So say he goes to a franchise like New York, and then he up and balls out. He's like injury free. He's back to what he needs to do, and he just dominates the league. That'll be an issue. So it's like, if that does happen, I feel like that'll be a major consequence for the players, and it'll affect the CBA. I think. And the CBA, y'all, is a collective bargaining agreement. It's the agreement between owners and players. So I feel like it'll change some things on that as well. So I don't know. But how do you have this situation like twice in a row? How?
Like you said, it's an organizational impact at this point. You have had potentially 2 generational talents to either leave or have a foot out of the door. And we all saw what happened when Anthony Davis got traded to the Lakers. The next season, what happened? Championship. And now you're having the same issue. Zion, and to be fair, Zion is a special case because of his physique, and we all have discussed his conditioning. It's been something of a mystery to solve with him, but it's still if like you said, Q, if he were to leave and then have a dominant season, no injuries, it's gonna make the organization look even worse. Not only can you not retain superstar players, but now you're looking at each level of the organization, from players, coaches, medical staff, training staff, and executives, and it's gonna look like you don't really have a good, solid structure. I think, was that you that said like they should just move the team somewhere else?
I was about to say it again after you were done. Move the franchise. Go back to Seattle. Dude, Seattle deserves. Man, y'all just oof. Even back to the days of like when the Hornets were there. It's like it's still bad. It's so bad, man.
I mean, I would love to see the return of the Seattle Supersonics. I think that was a cool franchise, but I'm not advocating for New Orleans to lose their team in any way.
I am. Yeah, this is how y'all gonna treat the fans. Move. Yeah, we don't deserve this, man. We're better off with another franchise somewhere else. The fans will follow them to Seattle. Yeah. Man, this is terrible. New everything. New owner, new management, new everybody. This is not working.
Yeah. It's gonna be a long drought in New Orleans.
This man, all right, listen. This man has missed, as of today, 98 games, and he's only played 85. This man has missed way more games than he's played, and he's 21.
I thought he was like 23, but
no, he's 21.
Wow. Okay. Wow. I forget how young these guys are too. That is
They're young when they get in the league. So
that is he's missed 98 games. Wow.
Okay.
Zion. I mean, you say he's in Portland. If something was going on in Portland, that would be interesting. Zion and Dame.
Yeah.
That would be kind of
this is what David Griffin said of it. He said, "We also agree that in order to put Zion in the best position to succeed, he will rehab away from the team at this time so he can focus on the task at hand." And Zion says something similar. He said, "As you can imagine, this has been a very difficult process for me. I know there's work to be done in my recovery before I can safely return to the court, but I will continue to put in the time necessary so I can get back on the floor with my team and represent Pelicans fans in the city of New Orleans at the highest level." And as I was just reading that, I just realized if Kawhi comes back before this, man, I'm going to be upset. As y'all know, Kawhi tore an ACL. What this man tear?
I think
he did something. If this man comes back before Zion,
a partially torn ACL, I believe.
Partially torn ACL. And that serves as a perfect segue to the next topic anyway. Listen, Kawhi could return this season. And if he does, if he comes way ahead of schedule and gets back into basketball shape, and the Clippers are doing pretty well. They're playing better than I expected this season. Right now, the Clippers are 8th.
Mm-hmm.
That means they're in the playoff picture right now. If Kawhi comes back, they can potentially move up further and be in the playoffs. And once you're in the playoffs, anything can happen. So if you have a healthy Kawhi, that'll be good. And if Kawhi comes back before Zion, I have something to say.
I mean, Kawhi. Let me start this way. I personally don't think Kawhi is going to come back this season.
You don't think so? All right, hold on. Let me make sure I clarify. He had a torn right ACL.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
he could potentially return this season.
Mm. I still am on the side of he's not going to come back this season. And it's not that he couldn't or that he's not going to be able to rehab and get in shape. I just think that we know how Kawhi does with load management. The team is in 8th place right now. I mean, they'll be in the play-in at this point. Also, Paul George, I think, is out with his. I think he had a elbow injury, a torn ligament, maybe. So he's out. They're as of right now, as of this recording, under 500 by like a game.
Yeah.
I don't think that Kawhi. I mean, we know Kawhi's history and just the way he moves when it comes to his body, his injuries. I think he's gonna take his time, and I feel like he would just want to probably just save it for next year because I feel like it would be harder to carry with no Paul George, carry this team and try to make something out of not nothing, but not a full tank of gas.
Yeah, but I'll say this though. Right now, it seems like the road to the chip is like kind of wide open. There's no clear favorite besides obviously the Warriors. But I mean, if you have a team like the Clippers, I believe they can match up with them, at least defensively. Yeah, they can match up with them defensively at least, and they can have a chance if they're fully healthy. And the report came from Chris Haynes of Yahoo. He said that Kawhi has amped up his workload in the past few weeks, and he's looking stronger and stronger. And the thoughts around the team is that they could be anybody. Because he also said that multiple players told Yahoo Sports that they're unconcerned about playoff positioning if the team is fully healthy, believing they can take down any team. And I kind of believe that, they have the adequate size to compete with anybody. And Ty Lue is great defensively. He's a good defensive coach. They got the championship pedigree with him as a coach. So I feel like fully healthy and the nature, because the Lakers are not as dominant as we thought they would be. And it's like, I feel like it's kind of wide open. The Nets, with what they have going on, they're not as dominant as everyone thinks they would be. So I feel like if you can get him back healthy and if he's okay, because Kawhi is the type of person that'll take his time. He left the Spurs over this, right? So, but if he feels comfortable and he's ready to play, I feel like they got a shot. I firmly believe that. And Paul George has stepped his game up before he got hurt. He was doing pretty good. So I think they got a chance. They got a shot.
That's fair. I think if they can stay above water for the next month or two, I think they can compete with anyone. Like you said, it's besides the Warriors, it's still pretty wide open in the West.
That's why, man. It's kind of wide open. It's no clear. Yeah. So
I still think I think they err on the side of caution and take their time with not just Kawhi, but Paul George. And, I think that this is also still like a weird season with so many people injured or out due to COVID. But it'll be interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing that. It would be kind of cool. So we'll see.
Yeah. And also in the major NBA news, we heard about, this is some news that everybody is excited about. You saw the return of a player to a team that he played for. And he's kind of known for playing for this team. Y'all probably think y'all know what I'm talking about, but I'm talking about born ready. I'm talking about Lance Stevenson. We'll get to the other person y'all probably think I'm talking about. But Lance Stevenson, man, he had some debut. He scored 20 points in the first quarter?
20 points in the first quarter in 6 minutes.
Crazy.
Lance made them dance.
I love seeing these veterans get another shot, man. I love that.
Oh yeah.
As you know, he had his stint with the Lakers. Unfortunately let him go, but now he's playing with somebody. I know we covered it last podcast. Was it Dallas? It was someone.
Dallas.
Yeah, I think it was Dallas. So we've seen a lot of these players getting their chances, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Even Gerald Green is back with the G League. So it's like you're getting the resurgence some veteran presence in the NBA, and veteran presence is needed. Remember we talked about that with Pete Dill.
Yeah.
Check out that podcast, y'all, and check that out. So yeah, so it's really cool to see the veterans, like, you know, coming back and doing their thing.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
So, yeah, shout out to Lance, man.
Yeah, I mean, Lance is, even though we hadn't seen him just consistently in the NBA, I think I've kept up with him over the past couple seasons. He went to China, was balling out, as a lot of NBA players do at some point.
Right.
Came back, entered the G League draft, got drafted, balling, and now we're seeing, you know, he got his shot with the Hawks, I think, at first, and now back in Indiana, just bouncing around. But it was good to see him because we all have those memories of him. What was it, 2012, 2013, playing my team.
Mm-hmm.
So classic. Yeah. Lance blowing in LeBron's ear and just all the antics. Right. He could hoop. Lance is, from, you know, a lot of my research and people I've spoken to, he's a New York basketball legend. So it's really cool to see him back in that franchise and doing that. You know what I mean? Like 20 points in 6 minutes for a dude, you know, that just came back from the G League and as a veteran. You don't hear that often. So that was really cool. Glad to see him get another shot, and I hope. I'm hoping that all these 10 days lead to like a decent long-term contract. You know what I mean? Like at least for a season. So, yeah,
you even have like, didn't I saw Joe come back too?
Joe Johnson went back to the Celtics.
Yeah, so it's like I love seeing this, man. It's like, come on, what's a veteran that you want to see come back? You got Jamal Crawford out there. I wouldn't mind seeing him again on the 10-day or something. Man. You know,
Jamal, I follow him on Twitter. That dude lives and breathes basketball, and
exactly.
And he literally, like, like dudes that are like our age and younger are like, how are you moving like a 20-year-old? And he's like 40, over 40 at this point, I believe, and he still is the same player. I think that he is probably at the top of the players, the veterans that need to have another shot. I think we talked about another guy before, Monte Ellis.
Yeah.
I recently saw that he got his jersey retired by his high school maybe a month or two ago.
Okay.
I haven't been able to keep up with his workouts, but I feel like when he was in the league still, I think his last team was like the Pacers. He still was NBA ready, in my opinion. I saw him in a couple of scrimmages, a couple of runs. I would love to see him. My mind is, it's slipping my mind other players right now, but those two for sure, I would love to see two of my favorite all-time players.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And yeah, shout out to Lance Stevenson, man, and all these other NBA vets. Y'all keep doing y'all thing.
Born ready.
Born ready, man. Born ready.
Hope to see him.
Yep. So, obviously, the main news that happened over the past week is the return of Kyrie Irving to the Brooklyn Nets. But because, as you all know, Kyrie is still not vaccinated, and he gave a statement, and the statement basically implied that some think that he's open to getting the vaccine, some not. But the thing is, he didn't say that he was going to get the vaccine. So, as you know, since he's not vaccinated, he'll essentially be like a part-time player. He can only play at away games.
Yep.
But when he's on the floor, he balls out. He balled out in his debut. So, what are your thoughts on Kyrie being a part-time? How you think this is gonna go?
It's interesting, man. On one side, seeing him just back in the league playing and, you know, immediately coming in having an impact. I think he dropped 22 points. He looked like he was ready for the moment, and he came in and he did what Kyrie does. On the other hand, it's going to be sort of weird, you know, seeing him every once in a while, I guess, for lack of better words, because of him not being vaccinated. And I think from a basketball perspective, just being a fan of the game, being a fan of the NBA, it's good for the NBA. For the Brooklyn Nets organization, I feel like it could be hard to navigate. There may be some issues with, chemistry, with players feeling like unfair treatment. This guy comes in, practices. I think he's able to practice like fully with the team, but he can't play in home games. So it's kind of like, he's not really a full participant, and they may rub guys the wrong way. I don't know, but I'm glad to see that he's playing in and doing just what he does, being an all-star when he's playing. So it was cool to see him. I'm glad to see him back, honestly.
Yeah, it's also good that he was also aggressive when he came back. It's not like he was settling or being passive. He was like, man, I'm gonna get this bucket. I think the first shot was basically almost an air ball, but that's you're aggressive. It's his first shot in a long time, but he balled out. My only concern is this: COVID is ramping up. You don't know what these other cities might pass as far as ordinances may go. What if they decide to do, you gotta be vaccinated to like be in this venue and stuff like that? Then what will happen, right? It's something to think about as far as the team goes. But clearly he's an asset that you need to try to, because this championship a bust for the Nets. I don't care what anybody say.
Yeah.
This championship a bust, especially as James Harden could potentially be a free agent. Kyrie can potentially be a free agent. They locked up KD, so that's all you need, honestly. But still, though, it's championship a bust, and if they don't get there, well, we'll have to have another conversation about these players like James Harden and Kevin Durant, and we'll get there. We'll see what happens, but you got to think about that. And Kevin Durant came out with a statement that he wants Kyrie to play full time, but he's not forcing him to get vaccinated or anything like that. So you saw that too, right? So we got to see what's going to happen. But shout out to Kyrie. Glad to see him back in the league. It's better when he's there.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens, man. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a sticky situation, man. Yeah, I can't tell anyone what to do and their beliefs, but that's not my problem, I guess. Yeah, it was cool to see him hoop, man. Love to see Kyrie play ball.
Right. All right. So let's get our last piece of NBA news. So this involves the Rockets and the Washington Wizards announcer. So the Washington Wizards announcer Glenn Consor apologized Thursday for a reference to Houston Rockets player Kevin Porter Jr.'s father on Wednesday night's broadcast. A lot of y'all may be wondering, well, what do you apologize for? So this is a statement that he made. So what happened was Kevin Porter had a ball with like 0.4 seconds left, and he made a shot to beat the Wizards 114 to 111. And after he made that shot, which was a dagger shot, crazy, great buzzer beater. He made this comment. He says, "You got to give credit. Kevin Porter Jr., like his dad, pulled that trigger right at the right time." If you don't know anything about Kevin Porter Jr., that comment was probably okay because you probably think he's talking about the former Washington player. But Porter's father was reportedly pleaded guilty to manslaughter in the shooting death of a teenager in 1993. Consor said he mistakenly thought Porter was the son of former Washington player Kevin Porter. So this is a statement when he apologized. He said, "Please allow me to take this opportunity to sincerely apologize to Kevin Porter Jr., his family, and the Rockets organization for the comments I made during last night's game." He said he reached out to Porter to apologize to him personally, but so yeah, it's and this is definitely a unique topic here because you have players coming out such as LeBron who spoke out against it. James said, "We're in a profession where it's your job to do your due diligence. We got enough people out here that's giving false narratives and false statements. We got enough of that. But in our game, in our integrity in the NBA, the 30 teams, the beat writers, the players, the coaches, the play-by-play guy, it's our job to make sure we do our best to our ability to speak the facts." So that's what LeBron said. So your thoughts on this whole situation with the Washington Wizards announcer being Consor and his comments on Kevin Porter Jr.?
I thought I knew what I was gonna say, but yeah, just hearing it again. I understand both sides of it. I can see the misconception. Kevin Porter Jr. playing in Washington, Kevin Porter Sr. or another Kevin Porter completely. That I can see where you could potentially make a connection, but also as a professional, as an announcer, as a voice, you're working for the NBA. You're working for, I think he's an NBC Sports reporter or analyst.
Yeah, he works for the Washington Wizards broadcasting. So yeah, he's a play-by-play guy.
Yeah. As a professional, we look to these guys to bring just that professionalism, and whatever you do, you should do it to the best of your ability. And that means for a play-by-play guy, NBA analyst or reporter, you want to be able to have the correct facts. And for this particular instance, he should have done the research before he, made an assumption. You never want to assume anything of anyone. And particularly in our, culture, in this league, being black, people are often looked at a certain way already. So for that comment to be made, and you made it, that's a big mistake. That's a big mistake. I feel like it's not difficult to look up if Kevin Porter Jr., who's currently in the league, is related to Kevin Porter, a former Washington Wizards player. And just the terms he chose to use during his commentary. And I'm not accusing him of, being insensitive, but it looks like it's very insensitive to his situation, to his family. And we're not by any means expecting anyone to be perfect, to be always right and always have the correct facts, because we've seen it plenty of times from many analysts, many reporters, and they make mistakes. But this one just is a little bit more difficult to understand because of Kevin Porter Jr.'s father's situation. And I think that you just have to do a better job of make sure you do the research when it comes to people's families. It's very insensitive. It comes off as very insensitive, and I'm not gonna say that he meant it to be that way, or to be offensive, but just as from a professional standpoint, he failed at his job to do the research, do the work, figure out the facts of who is this player, is he related to this player, and the terminology that he used is very, if not aimed at him, very coincidental about pulling a trigger. So I say you have to do a better job as a professional. That's pretty unacceptable in my opinion.
Yeah, so some background on William Consor. This is his bio. Okay, so if you look this up, go to his Twitter or whatever. This is what he has on there. He's an Emmy Award-winning NBA analyst for the Wizards. Okay, Emmy Award-winning. So yeah, if you're an Emmy Award winner, that means you're pretty good at your job. That means you know what you're supposed to be doing.
Yep.
Right. So we also have high expectations of an Emmy Award winner. Okay, that you know your job. And I agree with what you said, what LeBron said, and a lot of these other people. Your job requires certain responsibilities, and a lot of that is to do pregame research. If you do the proper pregame research, you will know, hey, this is a different Kevin Porter Jr. If you did your proper research, then he'll be fine. But we all lack on the job sometimes. We make mistakes. The thing is, what makes this egregious is that this directly impacted and possibly offended someone. That's the difference here. So I think he did the right thing to immediately apologize and to reach out to personally apologize. I think that's great. I don't think he should lose his job or anything like that. I don't think it warrants that. But I think it does warrant a discussion maybe to make sure that, it's all like equal, I guess, because if he doesn't step ahead of this, it could be really ugly. It has potential to turn really ugly because some people can imply, hey, this is kind of racist as well. And all black people are, it has potential to be really ugly. And I'm glad that he apologized. And I don't think the NBA in particular put out a statement. I guess because they don't really have to, I guess. I don't know. I just wish that something gotta be done. It'll help once maybe if Kevin Porter himself gives a statement. Because he hasn't given a statement yet. And it sucks for him because he just made like a crazy game winner. And the story is about this announcer. Just stole the show. So that sucks. But I think he did the right thing to apologize. It's tough. And I expect better from an Emmy Award-winning NBA analyst, as it says on his bio.
Absolutely. I don't know his intent. I can't say, he meant to be malicious in that comment, but it just comes off as insensitive. And
it does.
As a community, as a black man, as a basketball fan, that that I feel like that won't sit well with. I mean, Kevin Porter Jr. very well may not even acknowledge this at all, but to the next, you know, black man that you got accused of something and went to jail, or somebody who has a family member in jail that's black, or anybody's, you know, been on the wrong side of the law, anything like that, it just comes off very suspicious in this case. And I'm not, like I said, I don't know this person, and based on his accolades and history during his job, he seems like he has done well. I don't wish him any harm. I don't wish him to lose his job or anything, but I feel like that's journalism 101. You want to be factual in whatever you report or say, because you are now a public voice, a public figure in some ways.
Yeah, and also I feel that he's been in the industry for more than 20 years now, so you definitely know what you need to be doing at this point.
There's no excuse for that.
No excuse.
We make mistakes, but that's a pretty big mistake in my opinion. Like
it is, and I think, okay, yeah, it was a crazy shot. You probably weren't expecting that, because remember, it's his team that just lost, you know. So he's I don't know. I can't get into his mindset, because I don't know his mindset either. But I think it is a good look that he apologized for it. He could have chose not to, and that would have been another issue. But he chose to apologize. Give him credit for that. I also say this: it's just so bad because it's what he said, and it's just, I don't know if it's more coincidental than anything, but to use the word, you know,
trigger,
shoot and trigger like his dad, is so coincidental. And I wonder if he didn't say that, would it be as bad? But I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's a crazy incident. I've never heard anything like this before. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's why it's just.
The closest one, I just thought of it. The closest one. Only reason I know this is because I'm a fan of the Thunder, and the Thunder broadcaster made a terrible comment. He said Westbrook is losing his cotton picking mind, and he's gone. He's gone. So that's the only one I've heard that was like way, like, you know, that's on that tier of like, ooh, way out there for a commentator who's been working for a long time. And that dude's been working as commentator for Thunder for the longest. And yeah, so he's gone. I don't know why he used that word. I don't know. I don't know. But I agree with you. I don't think she was a job. Just something got to be done. I don't know. Sucks.
I think it's part of me is like, that really is that rubs me the wrong way. But
it's tough because these are white males as well. Of course, that's a white male that made a comment for Thunder, and this is I believe this guy is Israeli, but still, it's not like, you know.
I mean,
the guy who made a comment about Kevin Porter, I think he's Israeli American, but I don't know. But yeah.
I mean, regardless of race, color, origin, any of that, I think it just is a matter of professionalism.
Definitely.
And he made an error on that side, regardless. I can't say that it was intentional racism or, you know, trying to stereotype or anything like that, but I can see how people would take it that way. And I don't want anyone to, you know, feel unvalidated in that feeling, because we experience it all the time in daily life, you know what I mean? So it's nothing new, but for it to come from the NBA and, I don't know, just a professional analyst, it's like, that's very coincidental that you chose the word shoot and trigger when it comes to this player's father, who is not an NBA player, who had this, you know, situation. But like I said, I can't say what his intention was, and I'm trying to be as fair as possible with it because it's egregious. But he apologized, so maybe he became aware of it. And he wasn't aware of it, and now he is trying to rectify his mistake.
Right.
Regardless, everyone, whatever you do, whether you're an analyst, whether you're a teacher, whatever you do, be sure to be professional and make sure you do your research. Get the fact, regardless.
Yeah, I also give him proud for this. He owned it. He owned up to your mistake because we all make mistakes in our jobs and our careers as human beings. He owned up to it. He took the responsibility for it. And if there are any consequences, I'm sure he'll accept them as well. So I give him props for that. And we're trying to be fair to him, and we're trying to be fair to all parties. But ultimately, this is between him and Kevin Porter Jr. So hopefully they do have that personal conversation, and hopefully it's all love. But again, shout out to Kevin Porter for making that buzzer beater, though.
Oh yeah, awesome
Crazy shot. Awesome
Kevin Porter Jr. Let me just say this: Kevin Porter Jr. is special. That dude, I think if him and Jalen Green stay together in Houston, they get a couple pieces down the line in a few years, they could be something special because those dudes are awesome talents. And it's like you said,
Christian Wood too.
Christian Wood. I love that they have nice players. They need veteran presence. They need a lot of things. But Kevin Porter Jr. is a special player, and I think he's one of the brightest young talents in the league. So shout out to him for being clutch down the line on the road.
Shout out to him. Oh no. It's about to start.
Uh-oh.
Breaking news on the Swiss Masters podcast.
Uh-oh.
Klay Thompson announces that he will make his season debut Sunday versus the Cavaliers after missing 2 years.
Oh. The beginning of the end, my friend.
Oh no.
Splash Brothers reunited. Oh man.
Not this quick. It's not even February. Man, this is tough.
I saw reports about January 2022, so
I thought it would be at least towards the end, though, man. This is...
Why not?
And he announced this himself. Klay announced this. This is not no anonymous source. Klay said that.
He said, I'm back.
Klay is back.
Wow.
He posted this himself 4 minutes ago. Oh man.
I'm on Twitter now. I see it.
Oh man.
Tomorrow.
Swish. I apologize for my distraught. I just assumed Klay would be back later, like in February. If this boy, not boy, but man, if this man goes off and it's Klay Thompson, we done, NBA. We're done, y'all. But I don't care what team you support. It's over.
It's over.
It's over. Whatever team you support, it's over. Vince Carter, it's over.
Oh,
it's done. Oh man. He's playing against the Cavs, and the Cavs are playing pretty good. So if he plays well, man.
Oh.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh. I am.
It's over. If he plays well,
It's over. Oh man, it's so bad that you didn't woke Gumbo up. He was over here looking at me like, Klay Thompson's back. Yeah, Klay Thompson's back, man. Shoot. I don't know, man. What are your thoughts, man? What's going?
That was a live reaction. I gave all my thoughts. I'm speechless. I'm done. I'm speechless right now.
Man.
I just know if he plays well and he's Klay Thompson, it's over. Him and how crazy Steph playing and how they're playing Jordan Poole and all their pieces they got, it ain't fair. Because they got a lot of talent on that team besides along with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. They got Moody, Kuminga. They got Wiseman. Wiggins is playing better this year. Who thought that would happen?
Is it not fair? Is that
it's not fair. The rich keeps getting richer.
We keep getting all the taxes.
Man, shout out to Klay. I'm honestly glad that he's coming back as a fan.
It's been a long time coming, man.
It's been a long time coming. Because it was tough seeing him get hurt again. You know, to have to step back in his rehab process.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he's coming back. I'm happy for him. As a fan, I don't like this. But it's for him, I'm happy for him, the player. But as a basketball fan for my team, I mean, Thunder, we already trash. We're trying to tank anyway. But league NBA fan, I feel like they're just about to tear up the league. They're about to tear it up.
Oh, man. Klay is back. That's pretty dangerous. Especially but this is a big if he is right back to, his, what was 20?
I saw the videos of him doing these workout stuff, man. I feel like he's going to be
in workouts and G League games, but G League scrimmages, whatever. It's still a different beast from NBA basketball, man. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, we know that they've played together their entire career, and this system is whenever they just have to make shots. If he's making shots, yeah. But I'm not gonna say it's over for the league just yet. I'm gonna say, this is gonna if Klay is back to being Klay, pre-injury, then yeah, this is gonna be.
I just had a thought. What if he's better?
If he's
better. Because remember, before he got hurt, he started handling the ball a little bit more.
Yeah.
If he's better.
Yeah. Klay has a full game. He can handle. He can get to the basket too a little bit if he wants.
Exactly, he wants to.
Yeah.
But say because if he's been working on his game these couple years and he develops some more, Lord forbid he starts stepping back like, oh no, he can start stepping back like Steph. Oh no. Let's talk about something else, man. I'm done. I just gotta see him play. Hopefully he plays well. But man, if he gets better,
I think the NBA world will all be tuning in on Sunday on so
yeah. Oh man.
Wow. Okay. So that happened. It's okay.
Shout out to Steph. I mean Klay. Shout out to Steph too. Shoot, getting your teammate back. Splash brother back.
I'm sure they're gonna be happy to have him. Have the whole Splash Brothers gang duo back together.
Man.
You gotta play catch up, and Steph is like at 3,000 something threes, so he's gonna.
I'm sure he had no problem catching up.
It's gonna be a problem, man. I'm happy though. It's cool to see. I'm happy for Klay. Like, I know that dude. Just seeing
worked hard to get back. Yeah,
his workouts. He was working hard, and setbacks. I feel it. I've experienced it a little bit. So
true.
Okay.
Let's talk about something else, bro. I'm done with that. All right, break.
Okay.
Y'all with this breaking news right there. Let's get into some of the other. Let's get into some of the other reactions going on in the league. So, the league just released the first of the fan returns for the NBA All-Star 2022. It's going to be in Cleveland, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be something. Uh, so leading the votes are Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant. They're leading the votes so far. But for the West Conference in the front court, I'm just gonna read the top three of each. For front court for the West, you got LeBron at 1, Jokic at 2, and Paul George at 3. For the guards, you got Steph at 1, Luka 2, and John Morant at 3. For the East, the front court, you got Kevin Durant number 1, Giannis number 2, Joel Embiid number 3. And backcourt for the East, DeMar DeRozan number 1, well deserved. James Harden number 2, and Trae Young number 3. You got the whole list for yourself too. So, reaction to the fan returns. Of course, y'all, as y'all know, fans are not the only thing that determines who gets in to All-Star. You also have player voting and media voting. So, the fans determine the starters.
Yep.
So, yeah. Oh yeah, and coaches pick to the reserves. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, reactions to the list. Who you think snubbed on here? Who you think is missing? What do you think about the list so far?
I mean, we know the top picks: KD, Steph, LeBron, Giannis. Those typical and obviously deserving because they're superstars. They're the faces of the league. Very much deserved. I'm super glad to see DeMar DeRozan top.
Whoever thought you'd be number 1 in either conference before. Ever. So that man been balling. We haven't talked about him a whole lot, but he's been balling.
We're talking about him just a second.
All right, but yeah, shout out to DeMar. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, it's a solid list. I can't really.
There's nobody on here, but just
there's no one obviously they shouldn't be an all-star. Like all of these are solid.
Yeah. Based on the top 3, yeah. But there's some on here that probably should be on the list, but it's all good. I ain't gonna get into that because these are fans. Fans, of course, want their players in.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I have a couple that I want to see for myself just because I feel like they've played hard all season and deserve it. One guy I know for sure I want to see is Ja Morant.
Yeah.
Ja has been absolutely insane. I think he's like a 25 and 6 per game. Memphis, even without him, they were doing pretty well. He was out for a while with injury, but Ja has been from the get-go just foot on the gas. His game is evolving. His team is doing pretty well. I think Ja is very much deserving of that All-Star selection. Would love to see him in the backcourt. And I'm not saying like start or whatever, but just he is an All-Star in my opinion, for sure.
Yeah.
Another guy, I feel like another young guy who's just been still taking his game up to a new level. Very young talent, Anthony Edwards. He has been very solid this year. He's a show stopper. He's box office, as many would say. He comes in, he plays hard, he puts on the show, and I feel like he would be really fun to watch in the All-Star game. I think he's from like the interviews I've seen, he's got an interesting personality, and he's a great talent. I think he would be good for an all-star selection.
Yeah, I agree. I got no problem with the list. I agree with what you said, man. It's be interesting. Still got some time left. We'll see what happens. Some players can move up and get their names on in there, and we'll see. Let's see what happens. But prediction on who will be the captains. Who do you think will be the captains?
Steph and KD.
Yeah, I believe it'll probably stay the same. However, if LeBron he's always a dark horse. He can always be a captain based on just his notoriety. So he can always be there. So yeah, I believe it'll probably stay like it is, Steph and KD.
Yeah, I think
barring anything, crazy happening. It should be the same.
I mean, we know LeBron's going to be there. That's that's a given every year, even in almost year 20. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be a given, but it's going to be cool.
Yeah. Let's talk about, we're also going to react to some MVP odds for the NBA in 2022. So the leader of the pack, of course, is Steph Curry. He leads the odds. And then you have Kevin Durant, and then you have Giannis, then you have Nikola Jokic. I just did the top four because. So, reaction to the MVP odds and who you think is missing, who you think makes the case. Who's your case to win MVP?
I mean, those top four are solid.
One of them I don't care about. I'd say
I mean, Jokic,
he just won.
He's a monster, but his team has not been doing so well this year.
And that's why I said I don't care about it. Yeah, that's exactly what I was referring to.
Yeah, Jokic, in my opinion, he all-star deserving. First team. NBA team, all NBA teams. Yeah, but MVP this year. His team. I haven't checked his stats or anything, but his impact on the team hasn't been as important to me. And I feel like his stats just have been what they usually are. I don't have his actual stats pulled up, but anyway, of course he's in the running. I get it, fans and everybody else, fine. Who's the third?
International player as well. So international love.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, they do. You remember Zaza? Get in there. So yeah, that fan voting definitely is a factor. So yeah, but he still deserves it. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve the votes. He deserves the votes. Yeah. It's just that I don't mind seeing someone else in there in his spot.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. For me, I think you're about to get into this though. I think.
Let's see how
we've seen the search. Well, I'm gonna let you have that player because I'm gonna defend somebody else.
Okay.
I think LeBron is really surging in his MVP race. To be this old and to still dominate. I saw a highlight. This man is still jumping high in the air like he was on the Heat almost. He is still dominant, and it's crazy. I just think that's crazy just for his age, and how his team is positioned. You have Anthony Davis out, who's a key player. You have some other role players that are out still, but your team is getting better. They won a few games in a row. They're currently like 6th in the West. They're like right above the Nuggets. So that's my case for him right there, I guess. They're 21-19, and the Nuggets are 19-18 right now. So, and the Lakers are 6th, Lakers are 7th. Right now, the Lakers are firmly in the playoffs. Don't have to worry about playing. The Nuggets do. So, doing good. They're doing pretty good right now. LeBron is the spearhead of all of it. Him being at the 5 really does open up a lot. And LeBron is that type of player that can play any position. So, he's doing pretty well at the 5. So, shout out to LeBron being that old, but still being an MVP race, in my opinion. So yeah, that's my case for LeBron. Who you got?
No, I mean, not to deny the greatness of LeBron. It's undeniable.
Yep.
At his age, doing what he's doing right now is phenomenal. My only thing with that is that I feel like he's always great, but he's turned it on now because the team is just not producing. He's got to do it. So I feel like that could be detrimental to his MVP chances, and they're still kind of they're just 6th in the West.
And 6.
But to be fair, I mean, yeah, I think he has a case, and he can definitely slide into it easily. I mean, he's the most famous, arguably the most famous athlete in the world. So shout out to LeBron. But my case for MVP wasn't in the top 4. Maybe in the top 5, But this guy has been balling, and we just mentioned him, and it's DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan has simply been magnificent, for lack of better words. DeMar DeRozan he got traded to Chicago. Well, wait, or did he get traded again? Or he signed? Either way,
he signed with Chicago.
He signed with the Bulls. Everyone, including myself, was sort of questioning the pairing of him and Zach LaVine, with them both being ball dominant guys. But they both have been balling. But DeMar has just been on like a vengeance tour, in my opinion, because I feel like those couple of years in San Antonio, he's just like, all right, I'm here, I'm balling, I'm getting 22 game, whatever. I'm playing the system, blah, blah, blah. Now DeMar just looks unleashed, and he's playing. He's not playing the NBA of today rules. He's basically, he's not shooting a bunch of threes. He's still, when he has to, he makes them. But he's playing, top of the key mid-range jumpers, getting to the basket, knocking down clutch shot after clutch shot after clutch shot. And the Bulls are in what place in the East right now? Number 2? Number one. Last year, it wasn't even in the playoffs.
Very true.
And him, Lonzo, Zach,
Nikola,
Jokic. Not
Vucevic. Yeah.
Wrong.
Yeah, Nikola.
They are.
Yeah.
Zach also is going to be an all-star. I think both of them are going to be all-stars.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's crazy.
I feel like that'll be the first time we've seen Bulls teammates be all-stars together. Well, maybe not together, but all-stars at the same time in a long time. And I think that team is, to me, a sleeper in the East. Everybody talks about the Nets and the Bucks.
How can it be a sleeper if they number 1, though? I guess because we haven't talked about them in the beginning. Is that why?
I think
because they're number 1. I think they're getting their flowers now, though, because they're number 1 in the East.
But I'm saying, like, from the beginning of this season,
we were sleeping on the beginning of the season. You're right.
Yeah, still, like, as they were like winning games, like, oh, okay, Chicago's gonna fizzle out, but they didn't. And now people are like, okay, Chicago's here, and I feel like still, like, everybody's like, oh, they got KD, oh, Embiid and the Sixers. Giannis, and they just won the chip. No, I still think people aren't mentioning the Bulls, and I'm like,
okay, that's interesting.
These dudes very well, like, may end up in at least the conference finals, in my opinion, if they don't go all the way. Right now, I want to say they beat Milwaukee and Brooklyn at least once.
They did.
So I think they have good chances, and I just like. I like seeing guys like DeMar DeRozan. I like his game. Post up, mid-range, get to the basket, athletic, handle the ball. I love what they're doing. Chicago with Lonzo, 3-and-D type dude. He's knocking down his shots. Zach LaVine, still, to me, like one of the best players in this league. So I think DeMar DeRozan is a favorite for me.
Yeah. Obviously he should be one of the favorites, yeah. So out of 2, he said, I'm obviously going to agree with you. With DeMar, because he definitely deserves to be up there in the MVP. I say he needs to be an MVP after I saw those clutch shots. That's how you make a name for yourself in the MVP race. No matter where you at in the standings with your team, that's how you do it. Russ won despite his team being like 4th or 5th or something in the West, and because he had all these crazy clutch shots during his MVP campaign.
And he averaged a triple-double.
That too. But the clutch shots and the crazy highlights is what made him get over the hump.
Yep.
And this is how you make a case to be in an MVP race. I think DeMar leads in that category right now as far as clutch goes. Right now, like crazy clutch shots, he's in that category right now. But right now, I think Steph still has the lead over him right now. Like realistically, I would have Steph 1, then DeMar like number 2 right now. Because Steph he has been playing crazy on now. This gonna be a tight race. I'm excited to see how this turns out. If DeMar does win the MVP, man, we have to talk about him in a different light at that point.
Yeah.
He will. And I never thought of him as an MVP candidate. I never thought we would have to talk about him as an MVP candidate. So
it's like
that's crazy.
Just like a year or two ago, we were wondering if he would get back to All-Star status because he went to San Antonio, and like I said, he just kind of was in the system. And he was still,
right.
Don't get me wrong, he was still doing what he does, but not at this magnitude and not so much being able to put the Spurs on his back like he's done Chicago. So, and to do it with Zach LaVine and those guys is just like, man,
it's a solid squad over there. You know, San Antonio.
They're so balanced.
The San Antonio wasn't as balanced, like you just said. They were kind of they're just kind of treading water, really, with their roster. But this team is really built well. Like you got a floor spacer in Nikola, and you got shooters in Lonzo, and Zach LaVine can shoot as well. And it's like they have a lot of good role players as well. You got Caruso as well. He's hurt. I think he's coming back though. But they have a good squad over there. And shout out to Billy Donovan, former Thunder coach, by the way. He's doing good. Shout out to him with that squad over there. So yeah, Chicago can be a team to be reckoned with, man. They can be a force. So it's cool. Shout out to Chicago. Shout out to Demar Derozan.
Absolutely, man. Oh, we missed one thing.
Right.
I'll highlight this real quick.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dirk Nowitzki.
Yep.
Dirk recently, just a few days ago, his jersey is going up in the rafters, man. Dallas Mavericks legend. Probably he changed the game for the better.
Yeah.
I think he's top 75 too, right?
He should be. If he's not, he should. He better be.
Made the list.
I'm sure he's on that list. Oh shit. I'm sure he's on there.
Dirk's jersey retirement celebration was just a few days ago. Jersey in the Raptors. He is, like I said, just NBA legend. Shout out to him. Shout out to Mavs fans out there. I know my guy Rob. Happy to see that.
He's on the list.
Yeah. One of the most iconic shots ever. The 1-footed fader as a 7-footer, you know.
Yeah. There's actually gonna be the statue when they put it outside the arena. So shout out to Dirk. 1-foot jumper, man.
Unstoppable. One of those players I think will go down as one of the most unstoppable players ever.
Definitely.
He's in that category. Him, Kobe, KD, I feel like are just, their games are just so different. You can't stop it. There's nothing you can do. So. Yeah,
man. Shout out to Dirk. Jason Kidd made a joke saying, got all these guys coming back on 10 days. You want a 10-day contract?
I was hoping you'd get that.
Yeah. So, man, I wouldn't mind seeing Dirk again on 10-day. You know, I think he's done, though.
Yeah,
I think he's done.
That's smart. I mean, guys know when to hang it up. So,
yeah. Man, but shout out to Dirk. I'm happy for him. Happy for him.
Yeah.
Man, all right. Any final thoughts? Anything?
I'm good, man. I think that covers it all. Shout out to y'all for, to the viewers, the subscribers, the listeners for rocking with us all this time. We're in a new year, still doing it, still getting bigger, growing. Shout out to my guy Q, all the hard work. always bringing, the energy, the passion, the topics, video production. I mean, I'm grateful, man.
Oh, that's nice, man. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you for everything you do, man. With the outreach and all that, bro. Graphic design, the music. Y'all hear the music? That's your boy right here. So, shout out to him. Man, yeah, shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for your patience as we took a little hiatus. But we're back. Expect us back every week. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I'm praying for y'all as Klay comes back, and if he dominates, it's gonna be tough. I'm gonna be praying for all the NBA fans out there because it looks like we might relive the 2016 dynasty again. But we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
He might not be able to do the show for a while.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough. But yeah, man, I'm done, man. But yeah, thank y'all. If you like this, make sure you like, share, subscribe, share the podcast with your friends, those that love hoops, talking about hoops. Let us know what you think in the comments on YouTube if you're watching. Just let us know.
Listen to all podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Reason, everything. We're everywhere. So,
yep, everywhere. But yeah, appreciate y'all. This is Keely Guru signing off. Pray for me.
I bet your co-host is the executive producer. We'll catch y'all next time.